matter of principles only. It cannot be a matter of rules. The moment it degenerates into rules, it ceases to be religion, as it kills responsibility, which is an essence of the true religious act. Said by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. With these words, Ambedkar brought such a revolution that changed the demographics of Indian religion and its system. Ambedkar was not just a scholar but also a politician, freedom fighter, religious revolutionary, and an economist. Ambedkar had a vital role in framing our constitution. He was born to Bhima Bai and Ramji on 14th April 1891 in MHOW Army, Cantonment. Ambedkar's father was a Subedar in Indian Army. Soon after the birth of Bhimrao, his father shifted from Madhya Pradesh to Satara. Shortly after this shift, Ramji lost his wife and Ambedkar suffered from a major loss. Though Ramji soon got married for a second time and shifted to Bombay, now Bhimrao was turning younger. At the age of 15, he got married with Ramabai. From his childhood, Bhimrao saw a social discrimination which frequently came his way. Ambedkar faced a brutal stigma of religious discrimination. As Ambedkar was known to the fact that he belonged to a lower caste, he suffered from inhuman discrimination by the upper caste. Ambedkar was caste in Hindu religious, belonging to subcaste as Mahar. Mahar used to be considered as untouchables. India, in spite of having its religious tradition, it has drawback. Caste system, which has originated in pre-Vedic and early medieval period, which primarily include no subcaste, but as this system penetrated in the society, it got further divided into subcastes which were based on occupations, namely Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. These subcastes further became such a system that became a social evil. As occupation, Shudras were forced to work as a slave for the rest of the caste. As time passed, Shudras became untouchables. Upper caste used to discriminate them in every sector. Shudras were treated with every aspect of living. They were deprived from basic necessities such as food, water and shelter. Untouchables used to live outside a country at countryside with a poor condition. Untouchables were not allowed to enter temples, public wells, public gatherings and many more. As India progressed to modern history, upper caste saw a boom in their social, economical and political, but valley between rich and poor increased drastically. So happened with upper and untouchables. In the course of struggle of independence, India witnessed a positive reform. In this aspect, many such as discriminatory ideas and rituals were removed from society. Many revolutionaries such as Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Phule, Savarkar, Mahatma Gandhi, etc. worked for the upliftment of untouchables. Bhimrao at the tender age suffered from all these discriminations. In his school, he suffered from discrimination from his classmates and teachers. Lower caste students were discriminated in every kind, such as they were forced to sit on the floor. They were not allowed to drink water and have food with the upper class students. In his school, only one peon used to serve food and water to lower caste students. If the peon was absent for a day, the lower caste students would pass that day without food and water. Expressing and growing with such discrimination, Ambedkar grew up with a passion to change this system. Out of 3 children of Ramji, only Bhimrao was able to pass examination to take education in high school. In 1897, when he moved to Bombay, Ambedkar was only untouchable who was enrolled at Elphinstone High School. Completing his matric degree in 1907, he enrolled at Elphinstone College. Once again, repeating the past, he was only untouchable in his classroom. Bhimrao pursued his degree in economics and political science and passed out from college in 1912. As his father was in army serving the state of Baroda, he had good relations with the Diwan of it. Soon after Bhimrao passed his degree, he was called for service with the Baroda state government. Baroda's Diwan was unaware about Bhimrao's in-depth knowledge and his revolutionary ideas to bring a change in society. As bees get attracted towards the flower by its smell, so happened with Bhimrao too. Soon people started noticing his ideas and vision towards society. Baroda state government and its higher officials were amazed by his ideas. Job was not continued for a long time. Diwan suggested Bhimrao to take higher education from foreign universities and take his ideas worldwide. Bhimrao was awarded with Baroda government scholarship. This scholarship provided him an opportunity to pursue further studies. He took admission in Columbia University for post-graduation. In 1913, he shifted to America. Initially, as a black person, he suffered from his requirements. He got a job in a restaurant for just washing dishes. Ambedkar had a poor financial condition and was unable to fulfill needs of his family. Ambedkar received frequent letters from his wife Ramabai about their hardships. Ramabai was treated very badly in society and used to work hard for her earnings. Those letters used to make Ambedkar feel very sad because Ambedkar felt he was solely responsible for this. Ignoring these facts with a sore heart, he decided to fully focus on his education. He completed his MA in 1915 with subjects such as political science, sociology, history, etc. Ambedkar spent 3 years at Columbia from 1913 to 1917. Ambedkar awakened many youths by his words. Ambedkar was successful in influencing his professors also. He had a close relation with Edwin Seligman, who was professor of economics. Ambedkar's American contacts did not end when he left Columbia. He was in touch with university and his professors and usually used to refer Indian students about this. In 1916, he completed his second thesis, National Dividend of India, a historic and analytical study. He presented another paper on caste in India, their mechanism, genesis and development. He was successful in achieving MMA degree and soon left America. In October 1916, he applied at Gary's International London for bar courses with this. He also started his work on doctoral thesis at London School of Economics. He completed his thesis till 1917 and came back to India. The reason for it was end of Baroda scholarship. After returning to India, his hunger of education did not end. In 1918, he joined Sydenham College of Commerce and Economics in Bombay as a political economic professor. Ambedkar once got his opportunity to express his thoughts and visions about our society. Ambedkar was invited before the Southborough Committee, which was preparing the draft of Government of India Act 1919. Ambedkar was first Indian politician who urged for creating a separate electorate and representatives for untouchables and backward classes. He was eager to publish his ideas to public in mass. To complete his ideas, he began to publish a weekly magazine named Mukanayak, Leader of Silent in Mumbai. His ideas were so inspiring and effective that soon his hard work appeared as a golden fruit for society. His magazines were read by not only general public but also national and international political leaders. His work was taken cognizance by Shahu of Kolhapur, that is Shahu IV. Ambedkar shifted his focus to enhancing standard of living of untouchables. He suffered a lot of hardships throughout his life. So he thought that the struggle which he did should not be faced by anybody. So he started a nationwide movement for upliftment of backward classes. Meanwhile, Gandhiji coined the term Harijan for backwards, which means children of God. Ambedkar was truly delighted by this act of Gandhiji. Ambedkar now started to work as a legal professional by defending 3 Harijans in court successfully in name in every corner of India. While practicing as lawyer in Bombay High Court, he tried to promote education of Harijans. Ambedkar in 1925 was appointed on Bombay Presidency Committee with all European Simon Commission. Eventually, this committee arrived in India. It faced a lot of protest. In 1927, Ambedkar launched a movement against untouchability. He took active participation in many satyagrahas. His work in the sector of reviving untouchables in the main society is very remarkable and cannot be measured. As the time passed, Ambedkar was known for his legal study of various countries. Ambedkar and Gandhiji had a contrasting idea about representation of Harijans in electoral politics. Gandhiji was against Ambedkar of using separate electorates for Harijans, but they compromised by signing Pune Pact. Ambedkar's role in framing Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution is largest written constitution in the entire world. This credit undoubtedly goes to B.R. Ambedkar. Indian Constitution is like lighthouse for citizens. Fathers of Constitution who framed this text were highly scholared and experienced in their respective fields. Gandhiji had suggested Nehru that if you want to write a constitution for common man and give them equal rights to citizens, you will not get a competent person as Ambedkar throughout the world and decades. Post-independence, Ambedkar was the first law minister in Nehru's cabinet. On 9 December 1946, India's first Constituent Assembly sat. Undoubtedly, with majority, every member of the parliament was in support of Ambedkar as chairman of drafting committee. Ambedkar, with his detailed study and urged for development of backward class, introduced sections like Article 17 and socio-economical reservation of social discrimination, freedom for using public facilities with religious and caste discrimination, etc. Ambedkar is such a person who devoted his life to India with the intention of public welfare. Looking at today's India, we are lacking and forgetting values teaching of this great revolutionary. Today's Indian citizen is constantly struggling for fundamental rights. Though our constitution has provided us fundamental rights which are and will be applicable for future. Misuse of fundamental rights such as freedom of speech, right to life and liberty. These fundamentals should be either be well interpreted or redrafted, and ideas of Ambedkar in this framing of fundamentals should be recalled. Youth of this nation should walk on the path which is showed by Ambedkar. Jai Hind.